The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Global Market Pulse with your host, John Logan. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, John Logan.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the show. You are going to experience some volatility now. That's a fact. Trump, man, a ton of things to think about here relative to what happened last night as far as the financial markets go. The companies that are offshore, kind of housing all the money, the Apples, doing the Ireland thing, Google, the whole nine yards. I mean, coupled with the defense stocks, coupled with, healthcare. I mean, God, just take your pick. There's just so many things to look at right now and so much movement, some down, some up. One of the things that I'm actually really now starting to kind of get a hold on, and I know we had a big reversal last night in the 10-year. This is not a safety play anymore, and I think you got to be looking at on the treasuries. And again, this kind of, we're barely off all-time highs if you want to look at it that way. But I mean, the treasury trade, I think now you have to look at relative to what's going on with the currency world, the uncertainty out there, and the fact that if Trump follows through on some of these things, I mean, you got to take a step back and really think, okay, you don't get it both ways. You don't get low inflation along with manufacturing goods here and not being able to bury that inflation over in China. I mean, you get into these currency wars and you try to start normalizing currencies. The price of goods are going to, I mean, there's so many things I think that are pointing to the treasuries have really had their day. And the volatility in these treasuries are going to be the instrument, in my opinion, to trade in now. I mean, they've kind of been the, slow, boring, catch the bid, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think anybody anytime soon is going to be able to really price treasuries. So therefore, the uncertainty in the treasury market is just going to be insane. The S&Ps this morning, are, I'm going to gaze at the den every once in a while. If it looks like I've been up all night, I've been up all night because this, I started watching the election last night, just like you guys. You probably just spun into looking at the S&Ps and limit down and that whole scene. This has just been shocking to watch this. I mean, we talked yesterday about, buying some VIX calls, buying some VIX calls. Do yourself a favor. This could happen. Last night when we went limit down, and I actually own some VIX calls, I was like, how do I, properly, what's the best way to hedge these things? Because, my goodness, we've just come down over 100 S&Ps. So I hope my machine doesn't restart now. Microsoft just told me it was. But, how do you hedge this? So I went in and bought a couple S&Ps, took a nap at the limit down situation because I knew the VIX calls were going to cover that. It was a little bit of a hedge scenario. Had no idea those were going to, I took them off way early actually. But interesting things going on. A lot of different ways to trade this. But let's take a look at a couple of things that were just violently reacting. Gold, I mean, the markets seem to have digested all this, to be honest with you. The Pacific, rim types, the Nikkeis of the world, we're going to look at that in a little bit. And again, some of these things like the Mexican peso, we're going to take a look at those too. But taking a look at gold first, I feel like I'm all over the place. Nothing new. the big numbers on gold, I mean, we've actually gotten back down into the fair auction on the dailies, already back down below 1309. The S&Ps, the big numbers there, I just kind of skated through that and didn't mention. Big numbers to pay attention to here. The 240 unfair lows, we retraced all the way back up. And it's just hard to believe that this has happened like this. This is insane. Didn't think in my wildest dreams this would be reacting off the bottom in this nature. What do we rallied? 80 S&Ps off the bottom? Jeez. Okay, so 2116, 2117 unfair lows on the 240s. I think we can actually relax a little bit here, and we can start poking into some of that overnight action down below. But again, the major inflection points now, 2085, 2116, 2117. I think those are probably good inflection points to pay attention to on the S&Ps to trade. You have no idea where the long-term trend is going to develop on this one, so you've got to be very nimble on your feet if you're trying to trade the S&Ps. You do have better things, higher probability things to look at, in my opinion. And I've got an ETF. I got this from Bloomberg the other day, if you're looking at this. Some emerging markets ETFs that they're not recommending, but just putting on your radar screen. We're going to take a look at a couple of those today for guys who are out there trading stocks. I know I kind of stay in the futures world a lot more than I should, but we're going to take a look at those and how some of these foreign markets are reacting, and talking about trying to get an edge, and where should you devote some mental capital towards. You've got to take a look at these defense stocks today, because ramping up the military has been one of the credos of Trump, and I don't think he's going to pull back on that one. So Lockheed Martin trading 249 looks like pre-market. We're almost back to the unfair highs on the daily up in this area. Let's take a look at a couple, and I don't think these things are going to slow down. RTN, Raytheon, this one's trading up huge, 142. Looks like it's printing. Good gracious. Okay, so that's at the weekly unfair highs right now. I don't even, this is not something to be playing around with on the short side. None of these stocks I'm mentioning right now. I'm going to gaze at the den every once in a while here. Nobody's talking to me as usual. Let's see. Anything you guys want me to look at, just always throw it out there, because this is a day to behold. We'll take a look at SWHC in just a second. Let's take a look at General Dynamics, 156.94. Again, we are clean and clear of all inflection points on the upside on this one. So catching support around that 154, 153.5 area. I don't think there's any way to go wrong on these particular stocks, even though we're having a gap up on them. Let's take a look at Boeing. And we're going to hit a bunch of these when we come back, folks.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. John takes your phone calls. Now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the show, and I think we're honored. Larry Pesavento, are you there?
Well, I don't know about the honor part, but I'm here.
Man, good to hear your voice. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I just thought I'd like to let the folks know last night that, some of the things that their charts might not be showing. We actually went limit down in the Dow Jones and the S&P for a few minutes. We were down 120 in the S&P at one time and 880 in the Dow Jones, which broke a record if you didn't count that flash crash we had lasted 2 minutes a few years ago. So that's going to be interesting. But the big movers last night, John, were the Treasury bonds. They moved over $13,000. That was the big move. And then also you had gold moved about $9,000. I'm talking about up and down, because at one time gold went from $12.72 up to $13.39, and then dropped another $35 to the downside. So these moves that we're seeing are outlier events, as you mentioned, and I just like to tell the folks, be very, very careful in here, because a slight announcement from somebody could send these markets either straight up or straight down. You've already rallied 85 S&P points off the bottom, so this is not a a market for the faint of heart, for sure.
That's incredible. I know. I don't know if you heard me saying, Larry. When it was limit down, I put on an S&P or two just as a hedge against some of the VIX calls I had, and I was like, okay, well, if I get burned on these, the VIX will make it back. I could not believe when I woke up what was going on, how much this had rallied back. It's incredible.
Well, there's your mistake, John. You woke up. See, if you stay up all night, you don't have to have that problem.
I'll call it a nap, put it that way. It was a small nap.
Well, it was certainly unusual, to say the least. But I will like to mention, I've had 4 astrologers on over the past year that said this was going to happen. We had we started with Arch Crawford, who I'm going to have today. Bill Meridian from Vienna, Austria, said the same thing. Shane Smolian said the same thing and put his money where his mouth was, and said to buy puts yesterday morning when the market was up quite a bit. And then, of course, we have Arch Crawford, who is going to do that. And Norm Winsky, of course, too, said the same thing. So 4 out of 4. I thought that was pretty good for the astrology part.
That's That's awesome. When everybody lines up, that's good. Whew.
Sure. Listen, I'll let you go, but keep up the great work, and sure enjoy listening to you.
Thanks, Larry. I enjoy your show very much also.
All right. See you later. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Just to kind of circle the wagons here. Crude. Yeah, I mean, you got to think now. Crude kind of, little dipsy-do reversal, just like the market. But 45.52, I don't think any earth-shattering news yet for crude. So pretty tight range down here on a new daily profile that we talked about appearing 2 days ago, and it's definitely here in force. 44.22, 45.52. Those are the things I think you can kind of ricochet against today. We're kind of right in the middle of that profile right now. Crude's kind of a toss-up still in my book. Like Larry had talked about, just insane volatility in gold. But I think right now you kind of started consolidating around the top of the box here on that's 1,300 around the unfair highs on the 240. So, 1309, I still think we're going to move a little bit higher on gold. Let's take a look at silver. But you've got a good retracement right now in gold. Silver. So this is one, was liking from the long side a little bit more than the short side the other day, and had come down into that 1812, 1813, and then, we've had a moonshot the past 2 days. That's a great move in silver. But what do you do with silver now? Don't think, with gold sitting there, I think gold's going to just drift a little bit higher off of this 1,300 level. I think silver's just going to empathetically kind of move higher. We hit 19, it looks like, last night, and I think we're looking good as a long on silver right now. Let's take a look at, let's see, what else are we going to look at here? Let's take a look at copper. This has just literally been on the launching pad since Joey talked about the base of around 2 and taking some off around 2030. That was not a bad deal. But again, not going short. And this thing has just completely blown a gasket here. What do you do with it now? You just still stay. This is the 240s. You got support at 238 right now. You don't short this. This is one that'll take your head off situations like this if you try to step in front of it. Again, if you're catching the show late, I think the treasuries now are going to be in a protracted long-term downtrend. We talked about, the possibilities. You can't have it both ways at the beginning of the show. Bringing jobs back on shore, paying people more, currency wars. I think the treasuries are going to be where it's at for a while, but going to be like a sell the rally situation long term. Let me check the DIN here. All right, a couple other things we want to look at. Let's take a look at the currencies really quick, just to get that out of the way. British pound really basically explored the whole fair auction today. And when you have these new profiles attempt to appear, you pretty much can, in my opinion, ratchet against the new unfair highs and unfair lows. 123.36, 125.13, pretty much fully explored already today. And here's the good news that was up top on the top of that weekly profile, just ramped up and sold right off of it. Let's take a look at the yen. Now, these guys are shaking in their boots. I still think, the devaluation of this, which means this goes higher against the dollar, is still going to probably be the trade here. 103.50. Again, we're trading right above there. We've had some volatility around it. I got stopped out of trying to, catch support on that trade myself, but I think it's back in action now, and I still think this thing can go north. Let's take a look at the Chinese currency. So here's the yuan, and it's trading about 678 right now, rounded off. Profile appearing below price action this week, well below. That's very, very bullish for this thing to continue to go north. I think Joey was talking about 6.9 or 7 on this particular currency. I think that's a good long-term goal here. Stops below 675 on that. Okay, let's get out of this one. Let's go back to this. A lot of stocks that have global exposure. I guess, Toyota, 109.30. List all the car stocks. Ford, General Motors, HMC. We're going to take a look at a couple of those when we come back. Some of these stocks are going to be up, some of them are going to be down. This is a sector that's probably going to suffer. We'll be right back.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Until recently, it was almost impossible for the average investor to hedge against currency risk in Europe or Japan. For a bold trade on Europe or Japan that protects against moves in currency, trade HEGE or HEGJ, 2 times currency hedged leveraged ETFs from Direction Investments. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the show. So, question then, this is a good question. VRTX was just kind of throwing this out there. It's obviously a healthcare-related pharmaceutical, blah, blah, blah stock. I think these particular stocks are just going to have a bid in them for a while. I think they're going to fight the market. If the market happens to pull back 50 S&Ps this morning, I don't think this sector's, a bad place to hide in. 86.90. Looks like we're printing pre-market here, so we're above the weekly unfair lows. We're kind of getting back into the action, and as far as the profile goes, and a lot of times when we kind of reverse up into these profiles, it'll kind of use that as a support mechanism. If you're looking on an ultra short term, I don't think you could. I mean, you've got kind of a gift horse in the mouth on the short term, but on the long term, if you're thinking this thing might have some more legs to it, 84.42 is a big support area, and I think we could. A lot of these healthcare stocks they've been beaten up so bad. I said freaking up. The other one. All right. Let's take a look at a couple other healthcare stocks while we're in this scene. All right, we're going to look at some private prison stocks. Trump's going to put those babies on the border, I'm assuming. Yeah, that was close, Jay. Let's take a look at Bristol Myers, Pfizer, and a couple of the other ones. Looks like we're printing pre-market 5460 and BMY. This one, you got this is probably not the one on sale to really kind of put your hopes and dreams on. Let's take a look at Pfizer, and what we can do is and as they say in North Carolina, viola. We can go into the scanner and just kind of stop the guesswork and go into the healthcare sector, which has been the ETF, the perennial seller dweller until recently, and look at some instruments and see how they've been acting, and basically kind of find ones that are. Let's take a look at Medtronic, MDT. All right, the reason I'm looking at that one is because we're probably in breakout mode again on this one. Let's just take a look at it. All right, okay. Looks like we're printing about 84.75 this morning. Here's Medtronic trading above these. This looks really, really cool here to be able to buy support around 84.25 on this particular stock. I like how it started moving a little early. Some of these that are just in incredible snapback mode. Let's take a look at something that's just gotten murdered here. UHS. All right. Okay, so let's see where we're at this morning on this one. 116. Universal Healthcare. All right. Stay away from that one. Let's take pre-market. We're trading 116 on that. A couple other ones. Let's just take a look at Merck and Pfizer. All right. So Merck 63.25. Okay, so getting back above balanced areas. Then where do we go from here? Man, I think you got to wait for some new information on Merck. This is kind of doing a moonshot here pre-market. That is up significantly. Pfizer 32.10. Looks like we're doing that pre-market. So yeah, I think you got to wait and see on this one too. Let's take a look at UNH. UNH down 138, trading about 138. So yeah, this is obviously not the one to try to pick up in that group. Let's take a look at the XLV in general. All right, so it looks like we're printing about 70.69 on the ETF right now. Again, a sector that's just gotten bruised up pretty good. But the good news is we're kind of breaking stride on the dailies finally. We're up in the 70 general area. I think you've got to wait for a new profile to appear on the XLV in general, and then just kind of be able to buy the inflection points. And hopefully we'll get a new profile appearing below price action on the XLV if you're trading ETF. Let's take a look at a couple of bank stocks. Okay. A lot of action this morning. Apologize for that. Let's see. Bank of America looks like we're printing 1730. So up a little bit here. Yield curve is going to be widening, in my opinion, and it's going to be where the action is. So the bank stocks are going to be able to rip you off a little bit more. Let's take a look at Wells Fargo. Trading 45.83 looks like this morning. So again, showing its true colors. Traded 46.20 this morning, so almost got up into the weekly and for highs. You got to be selling this thing still. Putting stops above 46.53. I think you got a good. I'm gonna start using firewall with Wells Fargo. You got a good firewall up there. JP Morgan. All right, 70. Trading about 70. Yeah, I think you got to pass on that one. Let's get back to the S&Ps just to revisit some things we looked at earlier. Big inflection points here, that 21.16, 17 up top, those 240 unfair lows. I can't believe it reached that high. That was just amazing. But the other major inflection point down below, 20.85 on the S&Ps right now. Let's see if we can look at this. Let's got any pre-market action here. 1770. All right. So Chorus Civic, I guess this is a private prison type related stock. Man, it needed something like this. But nothing to really hang on to here. We're trading about almost 18 pre-market. So, I don't think you can do a good risk reward on these particular stocks. Let's take a look at General Motors. These stocks are going to suffer. 30.79 looks like it's printing pre-market. So we're almost down to weekly unfair lows here, 30.43. You got something to play around with there, but again, I think these stocks actually could head much lower in the short term. Let's take a look at Ford. Trading 11.11 right now. So has completely crowded this area, and now it's trading below 11.35. That's where you can play defense above, and I think you can short Ford, catch some more downdrift move on it. We'll be right back, guys.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped, and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Hi, guys. Thanks for coming back. A couple of these stocks, Apple, let's just take a look at this. 110.39, starting to trade up a little bit here. But remember, Apple, you're trying to explore the entire fair auction on the weekly. And a lot of times when we reverse into these profiles, as you can see there, I could bring up a number of examples. But, a lot of times we'll explore the fair auction all the way down. And I'm looking for resistance in this long-term profile relative to the daily. He's got a new profile yesterday, 112.76. That will be a really good back the truck up sell point, in my opinion, on Apple. Let's see how the other guys who are hiding money offshore are doing. Facebook, 121.80. Looks like we're printing right now. So I don't know if Zuckerberg, he's changed his citizenship, right, to Singapore to evade taxes. Is that what that was about? Man, what a patriot, huh? What a guy. What can he do now? What's his new stunt? Anyway, let's take a look at Tesla. David White's favorite company. He's got his whole life savings in it, I think. That's what I heard. Anyway, 188.70. Short. I forgot to say that part. Gapping down a little bit this morning. Again, the perennial short, in my opinion, when you have opportunities to short this thing, you short it. And it would be great if you could put some hedges on around it, because I think, that long-term trade to suffer through the noise, hedges are sometimes great to have. 233 was, 4 months ago? And then you've tried to find areas to sell it when they're offered. Sometimes you got to get stopped out of those trades, but there was 214, and then it's kind of drifting down. New sell point here. Inflection points, pay attention to 188, 194 on Tesla. Always looking at it from the short side. Take a look. Let's take a look at a couple other global exposure type stocks. Coca-Cola, you knew this was going to happen, 41.81. So we are sitting now at the bottom of our daily profiles right there. I don't think you ought to try to scoop this up on that inflection point. I think you got to leave some of these stocks alone that are gapping down. We don't look at this one that often, but let's look at international paper. This one's kind of getting nicked up here. 44. Let's see. So the long-term on the international paper kind of started trading below profiles here. I'm not really that interested in shorting this. I'm waiting for this to get back above 45.20. I like this stock. I like the company. It's one of the only things I look at fundamentally, actually. 45.20, getting a weekly close above there, I'm going to feel real good about it. It's a very boring trade. Let your grandma know about it. Let's take a look at DuPont. Again, global exposure, 66.44 looks like we've rallied back a little bit here, but trading below profiles here now. On the daily, at the bottom of our weekly profile again, 66. I think you got to stay away from these, even though we're sitting right at a trading bounce area, 66.40 something. Weekly and for lows, I think you got to stay away from these. Let's see. Sorry, hit the wrong button there. Home Depot. Trade down a little bit, 122.50. This one, we've been looking at selling this for a long time. You should get a new long-term inflection point box, if you will, at the end of the week, or excuse me, by Monday morning on this one. I know we've poked our head above daily profiles here, kind of broken stride a little bit, but are now back down within. And 123.60, I think you're supposed to sell now. I got stopped out of this trade. I've been looking at it from the short side for a while, ever since. Why? Ever since we broke down below profiles here, below this 133 general area. And then we had that profile appear above price action. You remember that. That's always not a good sign for stocks. And tried to look for that 123.60 the other day to hit it, and that didn't work. But that's okay. Now we're back down within the balanced area, and it's okay to put the short on again. Let's take a look at Johnson & Johnson. I see Tucker's posting some astonishing news about Wells Fargo in there. I never would have imagined somebody, what's sad is that, when I was kind of doing my probes, and again, we won't mention Anthony Weiner and the word probe in the same sentence, but when I was probing Wells Fargo and talking, there was a girl there I know that is a branch manager. She's like every day wanting to quit. But not because of the customers, just because of the employees there. She said they're literally a shade above a GED education. It's amazing. They need to go in and clean the whole organization up, top to bottom, in my opinion. 118 on Johnson & Johnson, trading up a little bit. I think you still got to look at this to sell. Defense above 118.18. I think this is a nice little gift to come back into a short trading opportunity on Johnson & Johnson. Let's go back to the S&Ps because these things are moving around bouncing around like a beach ball here. 2085 again, the big number up top, 2116, 17. Excuse me, down below, up top, 2117. And as Larry said on his bi-monthly call-in, Larry, you should call in more often. Trade light, these things can get carried away. I'm telling you, you add to them, you start, I hate that word, dollar cost averaging, or you start doubling up and trying to catch it back later. These are the types of days that you can really get skin up. So trade light, use the stops. If it doesn't work out, move on. Make sure you're using long-term to intermediate term inflection points to pay attention to. Don't get caught up in the noise. Just wait, be patient. You don't have to be in the market all the time on a day like today. If you're day trading, just, take a deep breath, drink plenty of water, go pet the dog every once in a while, stay cool. Going back to the notes, seriously, I mean everything I'm saying, because these things can be stressful on days like today if you're sitting there banging it around. We're going to talk about the notes when we come back, folks.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Larry Pesavento, a 40-year veteran trader. He uses pattern recognition, Gartley's, butterflies, ABCs, and Fibonacci in order to trade these markets. Trade what you see. Next on TFNN.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the show. Joining us late. A lot going on today, guys, without question. Talked about trading lighter and waiting for longer-term setups to happen, not getting caught up in all the noise, just being patient, drinking plenty of water, the whole 9 yards, that kind of deal. Gold, still think we've got a chance to kind of launch off of this 1,300 area. I like how it's consolidating right at that area. I think you can play defense around that area. I'm just talking to Steve Banger. We're lamenting about the VIX not going farther north. God, little heads help though. The 10-year, we were talking about this earlier. This thing has seen its better days finally. And I think the stakes are in the ground. You got to sell resistance on this particular puppy now. There's going to be some currency volatility. Trump's, talking about, well, all the things you already know he's talked about, lowering the corporate tax rates, trying to bring all this money back from offshore onto onshore. I think we're going to have, just incredibly powerful treasury moves pretty soon. It's a good time to put on a long-term trade with a hedge. Not a bad idea. The dollar, man, incredible moves on this one last night too. So what do you do with the dollar? I think, you got to stay away from the dollar. I think there's too much uncertainty on that one right now. Crude oil, just to kind of recap some of the usual suspects, if you guys are joining us late, you got a sell opportunity on a kind of a range-bound trade around 45.52, support at 44.22. I don't think this thing's really going anywhere. It's amazing how it's actually not going up more than it's actually down on the day. So it's kind of wild. I think you got to look at the range trade on that 44.22, 45.52. Copper, we talked about that one. Just incredible move. We're going to revisit Apple here really quick because I know everybody's holding it, or somebody's holding it for you in your long-term portfolio. 110, 112.76 will be a big selling point for this. Short-term 110.92. We almost reached it this morning, and I think we can relax back into 108.89, and ultimately on this particular stock, I think around 104. Let me get Larry's charts out of the way here. Here we go. Overseas, let's just take a spin really quick. Shanghai really kind of staying above, and there's some great ETFs out there to trade China A shares, around 3,100 support on that. The FTSE, amazing, gotten back above 67.97 and holding actually, which is not a bad thing. The December contract on the Nikkei, this one I think is going to have some problems. I mean, more problems. More shoes are going to drop on it. I think we can easily revisit 16,344. Taking a look at the DAX. Let's look at the short term on the DAX, or the shorter term. Just amazing moves, huh? So you got resistance, I think now 104.24. We kind of hit it, backed off a little bit, kind of hitting it again. I think we're going to come back and actually test the bottom of the profile on the 240s, 10.221 if you're trading the DAX. Stops above that 10.424 area. Whew. Guys, stay tuned for Larry. You'll thoroughly enjoy it. Trade light today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This is TFNN.